What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and today we're back for another Minecraft video. So we're on the exact same world that we've been playing on for the past few videos in the series, where we built the castle and the modern house, the interior, last video. But this video you'll see that just over here we have deforested just one more area. You'll see that I've cleared a lot of trees and some of the leaves are just disappearing right now, and you'll realise from the title why I've actually done that. What we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be making a tree house today. Now there's multiple ways you can make a tree house. For example, we can carve it out of an existing tree, but usually those are too small, or we could go to a jungle biome and build one there, which would be the easiest thing, right? But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the jungle saplings to actually grow our own tree. Now this isn't just going to be one tree, we're going to make multiple saplings and use bone meal to actually grow a massive trunk, and we're going to build off that. So I'm just going to show you exactly how to do that right now. So we need to basically make a pattern. So what we need to do is we need to place 8 saplings together. So 8 like this, and then we need to place 4 together and another 4 on each side. This is going to be a symmetrical shape. When we actually use the bone meal, this should grow into a massive trunk on its own. Now if you're not careful, the trees will actually automatically grow, especially if it's the right weather conditions. So you need to be super careful how you build this. So now what we need to do is just grow it with bone meal. If we grow the tree saplings with bone meal, we should be able to actually grow all of the trees together, as you can see. Now you need to destroy a few of these vines because we don't actually want the tree blocks to mold together and form holes. Make sure to destroy the grass blocks around it, because usually that'll mean that the tree can't actually grow, because that actually blocks the sunlight from going to those plants. So make sure to destroy every piece of grass block that's actually surrounding each tree that won't grow. Now after you've done that, the result is we're going to have a massive tree, a massive jungle tree that's conjoined with all those separate saplings we just built, and this is the foundation of how we're actually going to grow the house and build the inside and carve it out. Now the inside's kind of naturally carved out. As you can see, the shape is a little bit varied because of the growing patterns. You want to make sure it's more symmetrical than mine if you can, tighten in the corners a little bit. As you can see, this side, these ended up only being 1 block wide whilst these were 2, because that was a mistake I made because I actually let the first tree actually grow by itself, which actually caused me to go off track. But basically what we need to do is your tree might actually look different to mine, for an example. So we're actually going to just hollow out the middle, and we're just going to go inside and just place a few torches. We can destroy these after or make them look bare. This is just so we can actually see inside the tree itself. Now the reason we actually position them all like this and put them in this exact order is so the inside is actually already illuminated. But now that it's actually hollowed out, what we can do is we can go ahead and actually build a door. Now it would make sense if we just use a jungle door, because it is a jungle tree and it kind of matches the whole look to it. It looks like some kind of fancy fairy tree, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go inside, and what we want to do now is we want to kind of make the floors and then carve them out. So what we can do is we can just go a few blocks up. We want at least 3 blocks. We'll make about 4, and then what we can do is we can use the oak planks inside and kind of start making a floor. And we can make a balcony and make these blocks go around the edge of the outer rim of the tree as well, which will look pretty cool. But this is just to show us that we can actually start making the floors from the inside, because this thing needs to have an interior as well. Leave a hole so you can kind of fly up through it, and then this is kind of what the floor will look like. Like I said before, if you do make it more symmetrical and don't make the mistake which I did, it'll mean that the floor is going to be exactly the same inside. Now what we can do is we can just mine out the trees and kind of open them up, and on the outside we can start making the windows. Now we're going to use a very similar design to what we did in the last video, and we're going to use these trapdoors to our advantage to kind of make window shutters, because it's going to look really awesome on the tree, because on the tree it looks super natural and it's all wood just working together. So we're going to do that on every single side. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into a house, and you want to leave maybe 2 blocks open just so we can make the ladders up later, which we're not going to do just yet. And you want to just go to the sides where you want the windows, and you want to just hold them out like we did before. Now we're going to leave this open because it kind of looks like a really cool carving into the tree, and then obviously we can put our trapdoors here and make them look like shutters, and we can also destroy that and kind of make shutters there as well. Depending on how the tree shape is, you might have to destroy a few things or carve things out a little bit abnormally, but apart from that, everything looks perfect. And because it's actually 2 blocks thick, the actual tree wood itself, you're going to kind of have a windowsill automatically, which looks kind of nice on the side, so that's going to look really natural, and there's going to be space between the windowsill and the window and the actual base itself. So now we'll come down and we'll finish the second window, and we'll probably only have 2 floors to this base because we don't really want to make it too overly complicated. So as you can see, we'll put in another window like this, and then we'll put our shutter design on as well to actually make the windows. We have a few hidden windows, and the tree is carved out on the outside, and it's already beginning to look quite nice because you can already kind of see that we've turned this whole thing into a tree. We still have the vines, we still have the leaves, we still have everything that still makes it look natural, but we've carved it out into a man-made house from the middle. So now that we've actually gone inside and made the floor, we've got one of our floors. We want to make the second floor a little bit further up. We want to do this just before we start making the downstairs floor, and also before we actually start doing the outside. So we want at least a few squares above. We've got 3 squares here, 4, and we'll make the next floor around about here, so there's a little bit of a block room above the window. And this is going to be our last floor, guys. Like I said before, there's only going to be 2 floors to this thing because we don't really want too many floors. Although the tree is huge, we want a lot of space between each floor, which is why we're kind of opted in not to have many. The window at the back is going to be in an awkward position, like I said, but you might be able to actually use the vines to your advantage instead of using the ladders to climb up, or you can just cover up the windows on this part and just make it so you can climb up. For example, you could actually just fill it in with some jungle logs just so we can actually make the ladder, because the ladder is not going to be able to go all the way up. So we will spawn the ladder, and you want to make a ladder all the way from the bottom floor, and we want to make it so it goes into the second floor and the first floor as well. And then we have kind of like our way to get into each floor and reach access. Now we kind of want to make the windows look similar, around about the same on each floor, because we want to kind of promote consistency. Although the whole thing can't really be symmetrical, we want it to look as exact to each floor as possible. So we want everything to kind of look similar, because otherwise it's going to look abnormal from the outside. And it is a house, so we kind of need to retain some of the same quality. So we have 2 windows here from the outside, and then we'll try and go up, and on the same level we'll actually kind of copy these windows too. So we'll leave the glass here, and we'll kind of cover that there. And then what we'll do is we'll put our trapdoor windows here. Now don't be afraid if everything can't be specifically symmetrical, because we are talking about wooden logs here, so everything is going to look a little bit different. So if it looks just a little bit different, then don't worry, although this kind of does actually look pretty symmetrical from the outside. So now what we do is we're going to copy the back 2 windows. Now the back 2 windows were kind of for show. They were covered up by the logs naturally because we did need to use that for the stairs, but it still makes it look better. Even though they're not functional, it still makes the back look better with windows because it looks more like a house than just a tree. So we have the glass here, and the glass is below us. We only have 1 window here, so we're going to mine this through, and we're going to make the glass here just like the other side. Place our trapdoor shutters, and then mine away these 2 extra blocks. And here we have our windows. So the outside windows are kind of mostly done and illuminated from the outside. We've barely even put any torches in so far, but the tree actually looks super awesome. So now the next step is to actually make the balcony and the surrounding decking and platform around the tree to make the outside look a lot more homely and I guess man-made. So we want to actually get some stone brick slabs as well, and we're going to start kind of planning what everything's going to look like from the outside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the floor block, which is 1 block below this, and then we're going to actually make these slabs. So we're actually going to make some of these stone slabs on the outside, and they're going to span for 2 blocks each, and we're going to connect everything from the outside. You want to go all the way around with these slabs, and you want to make sure that you cover everything. Even if we have to destroy just that little bit of actual leaves that's naturally there, just to kind of get everything to match up. And everything then should go around at least one block each. And we need to make sure everything connects naturally and there's no unwanted gaps in between. So now we have 1 block width around on this platform, and we want to make it another block width because we actually want this to actually be able to be walked on. So we want to actually make a platform here. This is our actual idea with this. And then we have a bit bigger of a platform here just so we can kind of go out on it. And from the front, if we just go to where our door is, it actually looks pretty nice. It already looks a lot nicer than before. You want to make sure this thing is actually symmetrical though, and you want to make sure it looks the same. And when you have everything symmetrical, then we can start building the fence around it. So you want to get some normal oak fence pieces, and on the balcony side, on the very edge pieces, you want to make it into a full brick slab, because then there'll be one side to actually use as our walkway, and then one side which we can actually use to walk on. Now this is also a good way to make sure everything you've got is actually symmetrical, because to make another full block, everything needs to be symmetrical around the side. So everything should kind of look symmetrical. If not, it should be a pretty good shape. So now what we can do is we can literally just go around and we can fill everything with oak fence. So now we've kind of created our own balcony that everyone can kind of peer over the side of the wood on. Now we're only going to have one balcony on the second floor. We don't want to overdo it by having a second balcony because it will just make it look weird. And here is our balcony from the outside. It's not going to be symmetrical, mainly because of how the tree initially grew, but if the tree doesn't grow for you automatically and you actually fix that problem, then everything should look symmetrical and natural when you build it. So I kind of just like it like this though, where it's not fully the same, because it looks more rugged and it looks like more of a natural look to it. And we have obviously built inside, we are going to put some torches, maybe some beds. We're not really going to make too much in the interior, we're going to focus more on the exterior. So now the exterior has kind of been mostly touched on. What we can do on the first floor is we can actually go around with oak planks, and we're going to go around with oak planks, and we're going to kind of make a decking similar as to what we did before, but like I said, we're going to go around with oak planks instead of the stone like on the second, because we want this floor just to look that much different. And I'm not actually going to make a balcony, for an example, with the fences and other stuff like I did on the second floor. This is just going to be on normal oak platform, just to kind of give it more shape and make it look a little bit better. So now what we want to do is the final thing is actually decorating this thing with lampshades. And what we can do is we can kind of hang them down from here. So we can hang lampshades down here just to illuminate it from each side. So we're going to place some glowstone on the edge of here, and these are just going to be lampshades which are going to illuminate at the night time. And you can cover these in trapdoors, for an example, if you want to cover them up and make them more like lanterns. So we can go ahead and do that, just because normal glowstone makes it look a little bit less realistic. So you can go ahead and basically cover it all up and make it like a proper encased light. And we'll go around and we'll do that on the other side as well. This is just to kind of illuminate it at night time, because we're not really going to have much light from the outside. Most of the light's actually going to come from torch sources from inside, so we just want to make sure that the base can be seen from the night time, but we don't want to make it too obvious. So now we've built a few lights, we'll see the effectiveness when it actually does turn to dark, and we can make these into full blocks just to connect them. And like I said, when it gets to night time, we will see just how much extra illumination we get from these blocks. Now what I want to do personally is I want to remove this tree, because this tree is really in the way, and I want to be able to see the actual jungle base perfectly from the outside. Obviously it's kind of blended into the trees, but since it is jungle wood, you can still kind of tell that it's not part of the normal organic forest. So there's no point really for these trees. And now if you see, if we just clear the trees a little bit, we kind of have more of a look at the treehouse itself. Now as it's going to nighttime here, you can see that there's a little bit less light, so we can kind of already see that the light is actually going down. And I'm just going to wait for it to go nighttime so you can see just what the lights look like from the outside. Now in the meantime, we can actually go in the door, and inside in the meantime, while everything's just organically going to dark, we want to just replace the dirt floor which we've got, because we want everything to look like a normal homely house from the inside. We want to work on the interior and just put some simple things in, just like all the other houses we did in the other videos. We want to just put the basics in, like beds. Now this is going to be mainly a lobby room. For an example, this is just the ground floor where we're actually going to go up. The other 2 floors we're actually going to put things in. So we want to just put a few torches around the outside just to kind of illuminate everything. And then the first floor can actually be the bed floor. Now we're going to put some green beds in, because the green beds kind of fit in with the whole foresty vibe. And we could hide some of the beds along here right next to the windows, which I think really works well. And we can put 2 beds there, maybe some more beds in here. This can be like a lodge where everyone sleeps. So if you do obviously have a lot of friends and you're having like a survival base, for an example, you could have like a lodge here and have everyone's sleeping arrangement. So this is just kind of like a sleeping section, not really too important. We're not really working too much on the interior here, we're just trying to craft a really nice base. And then on the second floor we can just add a few simple things that we need. So we at least need 1 big chest, maybe 2 big chests when we're actually inside our survival adventure, because we want to obviously store all of our stuff we found. We need an enchanting table, which we can put here. We need a furnace, which we can put there, and in the middle what we also need is we need a crafting bench. This is just all of our basics, and this is basically everything we need to get started on our survival adventure. So now we're going to go outside and we're going to have a look at how the lights look, and then we're going to finish off the base. So from the night time, the tree is illuminated just as much as we need. It's illuminated in the areas where we need to be on the balcony, and it's illuminated from the outside, so you can at least see it from a distance if you get lost, and also you can see where you're going when you need to go inside the base. Now one more thing we need to do is we need to make the balcony actually accessible, and because of this we're only going to make the second floor balcony accessible, because the first floor isn't really a balcony that we need to make accessible. We could destroy one of the windows that's not as important. For example, this one here, we could just destroy half of this window, destroy one of the whole windows, and just make this into a door. So now we have 1 door here, and we can just fill in the blocks where the glass were. And we can get rid of these windows, which were nice before, but now we don't exactly need them because they look out of place. And then we can actually go out onto our balcony and step up here. So this is now our balcony. We can kind of walk around some of it. It's not really a 180 balcony. You're not supposed to really be able to go all the way around the edge unless you want to modify it or destroy some of the logs or trees. Then I guess you could access most of it, see some of the windows, and it's just this side that you won't be able to get around fully because of the shape of my tree, like I said. But with your tree, when you do this, everything should be symmetrical. So that's the accessible balcony with the jungle door, and this is the final build at night time. And in my opinion, we've built a really cool looking survival treehouse base. So if you guys enjoyed this Minecraft build video and it helped you out, definitely make sure to subscribe, press the like button, and comment below what you want me to build next, because maybe we'll build like a sea house or something really cool by like the ocean or something. Make sure to sub, like, and drop a comment below suggestions for the next video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.